Sankai. Good afternoon into evening to all of you in the United States. Yeah, it's difficult to connect Wi-Fi here, but just wanted to show you three of the novices that's with me. And they're setting up in preparation for the family to make merit. This is a very rare behind the scenes. Here, just the intricacies and delicacies of setting everything up. I hope to have time to give you all talks on some of the key basics, but to simplify it even more. I hope everyone can hear me. This thing is, there we go. To give talks on the correlation, cause and effect on meditation, attachment, and the non-self. And how when we sit and we meditate, to see the impermanent nature. This is all done in the works of Sayadaw Uttamakara. Sayadaw. Because someone gave me his book at the airport when he was departing Hanoi. And I went through the book and I said, well, let me see how basic this book is, but it's basic, but it gets you thinking. Through the eyes and through the speech of the Sayadaw gives profound insight into impermanent nature. And I think that in my previous talks, number one, I talk really fast. And that take up like 1 hour of talking. And I don't really stop to analyze one aspect of it enough for, I believe, for all of you to get the point. We should, in fact, pay attention to most venerable Sayadaws, Ajahns, because they've meditated longer than all of us have. They start to narrow down into simplistic form for us to practice easier. One of the novices. Nail. It's a nail right there. Some nail. And here are the novices working, putting things together for a small ceremony to take place. I wanted to show everybody that since everyone's now joining on YouTube. And there were many good questions that were asked in the book, which I'll go through all with you, but this book was written so fast that there are so many grammar issues in there, and some of the terminology is not used for modern day. Obviously the translator is not from the West, so they learn English the best that they can and they translate the best that they can. Mind you all, English is the hardest language in the world to study and to utilize. So as I'm going through the book, we had this 10-hour trip yesterday, and I was going through the book, and they were trying to emphasize in the present moment of what's happening here, now, in the moment. But they would put like only now, do only, only now do only, and I was like, huh? But from the philosophical, reflective part of it is quite deep. How we don't see the impermanent nature of the breath and the impermanent nature of life in general. So therefore, it touches the sense of the anatta, me, my, I. And he emphasized very strongly, there's no me, there's no my, there is no I. There's this constant flux of ever-changing impermanent nature, moment to moment, moment to moment. And that is the absolute truth, is impermanent nature. Some of the words in there that was translated was quite deep, including created truth and absolute truth, which I found like it hits hard. Hard, I tell you. My cognitive thinking was so deep in reflections yesterday that I couldn't tell you how many naps that I took in that duration of driving. I think I took it for 10 hours, I think I took like 10 different naps because it was so mentally taxing. Necessary though, to think about. Absolute truth and created truth, and how we create certain truths for ourselves, do we not? We really do. We create these truths. And it's like, no, this is what I believe. I believe this because I created it. I, me, my, I. The individual context of our society reinforces that that what I think is the truth is in fact the truth. And this is why we got these long debate, long speech, reasoning and logic and logistics. And which is fine, which is okay, I get it. I lived in America for 30 years. But before we get to that debate of the created truths that we have been creating for ourselves and for other people, the question becomes, do we know what the absolute truth is before we lean towards the created truth? So the fact that that was written in the book, I was just like, he makes us felt so seen. And sometimes you have to be seen for the ego to be tamed. It's easier for the ego to be tamed once it is felt like it is seen. Shine a light on it. He also emphasizes Namarupa, the 5 aggregates. He also emphasized something that
ได้ป่ะเอาเสือให้คาคือมันบุกออกพี่เตอร์อันนั้นนะเมื่อสเปแม่นอนน้ำเนาะไปหาแล้วบุญใส่ป่านมือฮะ
the novices are taking a break over there.
อะไรหรอ
He emphasizes strongly over the 4 elements: solid, earth, water, fire, and how our body is in constant flux of change through the cycles of the 4 elements.
Ella.
And to be aware of them, to see them just as elements and how the changes occur and what happens when we get sick.
ไม่ครบยังขาดไม่
But this particularly hits me in a way because we just had a cremation, and I don't think well, I gave you all videos already on the cremation, on the talk of gratefulness,
อันนึงให้นำเข้าตู้นะให้ตัวออกมาให้เราไปให้วัดเอา
and the nature of life. But
ก็ไปแล้ว
I didn't give you all the video, where I try to crawl out at night with a flashlight and try to look for bones.
เอกสาร
There was no bones present. Cremation took effectively the dissolution of the body in its totality. I don't think I could see a finger.
พาปูสนาหน่อยเนี่ย
But then I took what happened at this cremation that happened at the monastery,
ได้มากกว่าอ่ะ
and then concurred it with
เมื่อที่ใช่
the writings on the four elements.
คนดีๆดูเดี๋ยวแป๊บนึง
And mind you,
คนดี
the fact that I teach so much, I don't really get to go back to certain basics of reminding my own self and to deepening the practice, to be reminded of how all of us are within those four elements always. Then my mind switched over to Asubha Bhavana and Maranusati, which is the image of the body being dissolved slowly into back to the earth element. And then there's novices everywhere around me, and so I started to see the four
มาความหลงอาจจะเครื่องเสียนะเครื่องบางทีอะ
elements in them.
ไม่ได้เสีย
They became objects of meditation. In real life, in present time,
ไปทานเอาอยู่วัดก็สิได้
บูชาเอาเลยบอกเราบูชาเลย
using all of the objects available to me for reflection.
มันบ่เห็นเลย
So, this morning we meditated. We meditated at this river. I wanted to take some time to upload some of that for you all to see. It's quite beautiful. The abbot is going to come up with topics for me to talk, and hopefully I can activate YouTube. If not, it is for sure on my Facebook, so you have to kind of oscillate from my Facebook to my YouTube. I got some notes I gotta take, so let me do that. Let me prepare my notes more careful, which is a rare thing when I'm giving talks like this, but I just wanted to prepare the notes in such a way. I couldn't believe how deep that book was. It just seems on the cover so simple. It seems on the cover as if it's another basic book, but it's not. Then, as a special for all of you, I'm actually going back to the Burmese traditions, all the way to Ledi Sayadaw. Just because something about the historical findings, the historical context of meditation that needs to be rediscovered again, over and over again. We've lost touch with our history. So I'm going back to that, but you all can look forward to that. Right now I'm gonna go back to my notes real quick and make sure that it's on point. Just want to give you all an update to what's going on right now. And hopefully I go live back again soon for all of you to listen to. May all be well and always be peaceful.